Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about some new polls that we have in the 2024 presidential race that really paint a whole new picture about how this race is going, a very positive direction for Kamala Harris. When just a couple weeks ago, the polls were not looking good, a lot of these polls that were, very pessimistic about her chances, such as CNN in this instance, are now, saying that she has quite a large lead across some of these battleground states where we didn't have much faith in her chances. So, for example, CNN released three new polls today from the Blue Wall: Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. As you can see in Wisconsin, Harris is ahead by 6 percentage points, an absolutely huge lead in a state that only voted for Joe Biden by 0.6% in the last election. So to see Kamala Harris, of course, gaining 5.5% basically, that's stunning. Is it likely to happen? Absolutely not. But it really paints the picture of how this election is turning in just these past couple of days. In Michigan, their poll is not even much worse for Kamala Harris than the 6 point lead in Wisconsin. As you can see, Harris is ahead 48 to 43. She's ahead by 5% in Wisconsin. Joe Biden only won Wisconsin by 2.8, so she's basically doubling Biden's margin there. Finally, Pennsylvania, basically a toss up. Harris is ahead, I saw in the actual results when with the decimal places. Harris is ahead by a little bit, but when you round, you do get 48 to 48. So these three polls, obviously, especially in Wisconsin and Michigan, very strong showings for Kamala Harris, and even Pennsylvania, not bad when you consider the fact that Kamala Harris is down in the average of polls on 538. Of course, with these Republican-sponsored polls, all these polls that really skew the averages. Trump is ahead in Pennsylvania, very narrow margin, only 0.2%. So to see any polls where she is leading, even if it's by less than 1%, as we see in this CNN poll, that is important. That is important. That is very good for the Harris campaign. And as I said before, CNN is an SSRS is the poll that actually conducts the poll. CNN sponsors it. And this is just one example of the new polls that are flooding, right? The polling averages in this election as we approach election day, right? Of course, there are many, many, many polls released every day. But CNN is, one of these many pollsters who, where Kamala Harris hasn't been really performing well in these past few weeks, in these past really month or two. As you can see in this poll that was released less than a week ago, just about a week ago, not too long ago at all, they said Harris and Trump, again, this is CNN, they said Harris and Trump were tied at 47% each nationally. In the popular vote, that's not just Pennsylvania, that's not just Arizona or Georgia or North Carolina. This is nationally. Of course, Joe Biden won the popular vote by 4.5%. He won the election, but Hillary Clinton won it by 2%, and she lost the election. Point of the fact of the matter is that if Harris did tie Trump in the popular vote, she would lose in the electoral college almost certainly. So again, not too long ago, CNN was saying in their poll, SSRS was finding that they were tied nationally. These polls clearly do not indicate a tied race nationally in the popular vote. In fact, let's map these results out. This is my current forecast, but let's just map out some of these polls that we've gotten from CNN. Again, Wisconsin was a 6 point win. That's a likely margin win. Imagine if you wake up the day after Election Day and you see Wisconsin has been called and it's a likely margin win for Harris. That would be absolutely stunning. I mean, no one would have expected such, an outcome like this, but it is becoming more and more possible, especially when you get polls like these where you see it actually is in the realm of possibility. Not so much for Donald Trump, though. Michigan is a 5 point win for Kamala Harris. That's just about a likely margin victory there. You see, as I said, Pennsylvania, she leads by less than 1% by a decimal margin. So that is a tilt state for her. Now, maybe the best news, honestly, maybe the best news of any of these polls, well, probably not more than Wisconsin, but still, CNN also yesterday released a poll from Nevada and Arizona. And you can see in Arizona, Harris is ahead by 1%. Now, yes, it's a swing state. Yes, of course, this isn't any stunning lead like a 6 point lead. But you got to remember, Arizona is supposed to be Harris's worst battleground state. Arizona, in the average of polls, Trump is ahead by the most here of any battleground state. He's ahead by 2.1%. So to see any polls where Harris is in the lead, it's really notable. do consider the fact that, yes, there are numbers that show Harris leading. Yes, it is possible for Harris to win in Arizona. As you can see in my forecast, or not anymore, but as you could see before I deleted the results, Harris, I believe, will win Pennsylvania. That is a tilt blue state. That is what is in my current forecast right now. I do believe that Harris is slightly favored in Arizona. So she's ahead by 1 in Arizona. Let's place that on the map. So if you've got these results, 6-point win